What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. If you like this video, please consider subscribing to my channel. I would greatly appreciate it. And if you do like this video, hit that thumbs up, it helps me out tremendously guys. So today I want to talk to you guys about my first experience with Uber. I drove the last 2 nights for Uber. So I'm going to make this video as comprehensive and as in-depth as possible. I'm gonna calculate everything to my best abilities because I'm not very good with math, but the Uber app does have everything laid out for you. How much you drove, how much you made, where you drove, all that stuff. So I'm gonna explain some of that to you as well. So there's gonna be a bunch of numbers on the screen. Try to keep up with me here. I drove for 2 nights and it came out to a total of 175 miles. So this is gonna be different for everybody. So my car averages about 24 miles per gallon, the Jeep, which equals out to a little bit over 7 gallons of gas that I spent in those 175 miles. So what that means is, if you multiply the 7 gallons at roughly, in my area where I live, it's $2.45 per gallon. It came out to about $17 is what I spent in gas. Keep that in mind, okay? So I have been driving for about an hour and a half now. I made 3 trips, start at 5:30, it's a little bit after 7, and so far I made like 15 bucks. Slow start to the evening, but yeah, it would have been great. You know, it was 15 bucks an hour until I haven't picked anybody up in 30 minutes, so I don't know what I'm gonna do. First time doing this. All right, so the first night I drove, I made $53 total. I drove about 5 hours worth, and out of those $53, I actually made $15 in tips. So realistically, if I didn't get tipped at all, I would have made 38 bucks. So on the second night, I was a little more successful. The second night, I made $59, but no tips, and it was a total of 7 trips in 3 hours. So I just drove somebody 22 miles from downtown Chattanooga, where I've been actually hanging out and driving, all the way to Appleton, which is a solid 30-minute drive. Oh man, I need to figure out how to read these requests because that's a long way. Now what am I gonna do? I'm online right now, but nobody's gonna pick me up in the middle of nowhere, man. So yeah, I'm not doing so hot so far with this Uber thing, man. But here's the thing though, technically on the Uber app, I only did $34. When I dropped off a couple customers, I had other customers come to my car and say, hey, can you drive me to this location? I wouldn't really necessarily recommend that. The first one that I did was a family of 4. They were hopping around town. Use your best judgment when it comes to stuff like this, but they asked me for a ride. I tried to figure out how to do it on the Uber app, or at least on their phone on the Uber app, how to pick them up. I don't know if there's a way to do that. So if you know and you're an Uber driver, please comment below. I have no idea how you can request somebody to pick you up. They asked me if I wanted to do it just cash. I said, heck yeah, let's do it. So I drove them like 4 blocks and they gave me 20 bucks, which was awesome. All right, so a quick recap. First night, 5 hours, 9 trips, $53. Second night, 3 hours, 7 trips, $59, which brings my total to about $112. So, remember earlier I talked about the miles I drove and how many miles per gallon it cost me and all that fun stuff? Subtract that $17 from the 112 and you get $95, all right? So if you divide $95 by the 8 hours that I was on duty, divided by 8, you get $11.80, you get about $12 an hour. So this is when my opinion comes into place. $12 an hour is not bad, but it's also not something to write home about. You cannot make a living on $12 an hour. Now keep in mind, this is gonna be different for everybody. In the city that I live, there's a lot of drivers and not a lot of people looking for rides. So there's a lot of sitting around in the car, which is what a lot of those hours actually are. There are times that I actually went 30, 40 minutes without actually picking anybody up. So I was really fortunate that people actually tipped, and I got really lucky when people just gave me a big chunk of money instead of going through the Uber app. So if it wasn't for those two things, the $12 an hour would be actually a lot less. It'd probably be closer to like $8 or $9. Nobody can make a living on $8 or $9 or even $12 an hour. I can't pay my rent at $12 an hour. There's no way. If you are new here, I do have a full-time job. This was kind of an experiment and a little ways to make a little bit extra cash when I have some free time. This is a supplement to my normal day job. I'm not gonna do it all the time. I'm only gonna do it realistically if I wanna buy some camera equipment or some bike parts. It's a good thing to do when you're in a pinch. It's not a full-time job, at least where I live. If you live in a larger city like New York City, Miami, anywhere that's larger than the town that I live in, which is less than 300,000 people, you can probably do it for a living because you're gonna be picking up rides so much faster, but Uber also only pays you half of what they actually get. Which brings me to my next point. I'm gonna actually do another one on these with Lyft. I know Lyft is not as big as Uber, but Lyft pays you significantly more. I think it's somewhere around 75 or 80% of what they charge the customer you actually get to keep. I made a little bit of money this weekend. It cost me a big chunk of my car. So last night was my first night driving for Uber, and that happened. I have 2,600 miles in my car, and I was parked kind of like this right here, and a girl came around the corner, and instead of cutting in to park like this car did, it just slammed right into the side of my car. You know, what do you do? It's not gonna come out of pocket, but you know, I drove a lot of miles in the car. This kind of money does not equal enough to get tires in the car, the wear and tear. It's not gonna pay you enough for the wear and tear, so keep that in mind. If you just wanna make a couple extra bucks, maybe you have a vacation, or maybe you wanna buy something for somebody else, maybe in the holiday season you wanna get something for your kids, and your regular day job is gonna pretty much provide you just your necessities, not anything extra, then yeah, go for it. But keep in mind, make sure you're driving a car that's really economical, and expect really, really dirty or messy people to be in your car. And if you're driving evenings where people are out drinking, make sure you get some really good seat covers or rubberized mats on the floors in case they throw up. That didn't happen to me, which I was fortunate enough, but that's it. That's all I got, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hit that thumbs up button, hit that subscribe button. I put out a couple videos a week usually. Thank you again so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.